Hey guys, welcome back. Adam Ellis here with NPJ, and I'm joined with the head coach from Corban University, Kim McLain. Kim, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. That's a great thing you're doing, and I love it.
Oh yeah, of course. Excited to, share information with the volleyball community during this time. So we'll just hop right into the first question. And I think something that a lot of people would love to know about is how you would best describe your coaching style.
Well, when I first started coaching, just being a teacher there at school, and as you know, small schools will say, "Hey, teacher, can you try to come in and coach?" And they asked me to do that, and so I filled that spot. I actually started with JV2, and then went to JV, and then started assisting the varsity, and that was back 92. Shows how old I am there, but just great experience of being under a coach that was really trying to build that program. And so that's where I started, and teaching, that's who I am. And I really feel like my style is a teacher, and so I love to teach the skills. I love to put each skill together, which is the specifics as a teacher would. I actually taught math a lot as a 6th and 5th grade teacher, so that really came in handy. And but my style as coaching is I care for those kids, and I love to see them just progress. You get kids in, and they have a starting point, and so by the end, I really hope that they come out of there as confident women, and that they feel like $1,000,000. And so my coaching style is, again, I'm in it with them, and very high, driven and organized. But again, that's so important to who I am, just to be alongside of them and push them to the next level that they didn't even know they could get to. So that's fun for me. Yeah.
Definitely. I know you're big on creating team culture. Can you tell us more about that and how you create your team cultures?
Yeah, I think it starts with me, right? So as a coach, I have to have the purpose in why I'm even coaching, so, and then a vision, and I have to, give that to my athletes. And so it starts with me. I am a big proponent of learning from others and reading from others. And so I've come about knowing my purpose and what I want it to look like. So my purpose might be, let's say for this year, is making a difference. So I want to make a difference, in the athletes' lives around me. I want to make a difference on campus. I want to make a difference in my community, in the game, and so on. And then I have a vision, right? So with that vision, I create the vision, I share it with my athletes. Well, then in turn, I help my athletes, let's say their whole individual purpose, why they play, why they're there at Corban, is to make a difference. So you could go that avenue, and then they create their vision. I really feel like we can jump so quickly into, well, hey, my vision is to win the championship, right?
Sure.
But it's the journey along the way. It's the steps in which you get there. And so whether we read a book together, and so this last year we actually grabbed onto, I didn't have them read this book this year, but it's Urban Meyer. He was an Ohio, football coach. A lot of people probably have read his book. He's the only football coach, I believe, that has gone to 2 different schools and won a national championship. But he wrote a book that's called Above the Line. And so with my team this year, with the culture that I wanted to create, is everything we have a purpose, and therefore everything must be focused towards that purpose, and everything must be above the line. And so above the line is, now I have a purpose, so now I'm intentional, I'm skillful, right? And I go about it with that purpose. And if you think, this is a big one for me, below the line, right, is where you would have actually resistance to the whole journey. So that's below the line. And you think about that with coaching, we may ask a athlete to change in some way, right? And so if they're not resistant and they choose to, hey, I'm going to make this change and I'm going to go for it because coach is looking for that for me, That's huge. And then if you're below the line, right, you don't have that purpose. You're just on autopilot and there's no vision. So that was huge to us last year. And it was just great because the girls would say, hey, man, I did that. That was way below the line, right? And so it was just a quick reminder. It was good. This year, we actually, my girls don't know this, but I purchased for each one of them a book by John Gordon, and it's called The Energy Bus. And so it's pretty cool. It's like, it's definitely life skills, which I want in my culture of, we're on this bus together, we're on this ride together, and how are we going to get there? So again, my culture comes back to every day, right? And the journey, and hopefully that journey, right? Everyone loves to win. That journey is what's going to get us there. And if we're coaching just to win, I think we're in the wrong department, right? I mean, we love that. That's the good on top, but it's to change lives and to make a difference. And so coaching it's pretty exciting for me.
Definitely. Tell me about your recruiting process. I feel like you guys do such a good job from a recruit standpoint, and you guys bring in so many top recruits from around the country. I feel like you guys are just out everywhere. How do you go about that? It's just really impressive to me.
Right. I think that recruiting is so important because, again, going back to getting the right fit for your school, right fit for your program and your culture. And so, you just have to be out there. You have to be working. You have to be watching. The crazy thing is when I go out recruiting, I'm actually looking for that kid. I have a great class that came in as freshmen, as you may know, and I was able to watch them. They were actually, quite a few of them, their junior year were on the bench. And so you're watching these kids and they're cheering, they're going after it. You watch from afar at a court and you see a ball roll, you see which kids chase after, which kids shag. I know that's kind of crazy, but it's that work ethic. Recruiting, though, we do have a little bit of an advantage to be able to talk to kids and that relationship built. But I feel like, we're looking for talent. That's true. But it's that culture kid and that right fit for Corban, which can be difficult at times, right? Because if it's a different school, being a private Christian school. But athletically, you see those kids that have that athletic talent. Sometimes we're in that waiting game for a little bit longer than other schools, but we have been signing juniors. But just that, kid that's good, respectful eye contact with their coaches, and that hard worker and good to their parents. And so those are the kind of kids we're looking for. And, we've been fortunate to find some phenomenal, not only athletes, but people.
That's great. Kim, you guys are the first college in the state of Oregon to build beach courts at any division, at any level. Talk to us about how many of your indoor players will be out playing in the sand.
Right. So it is a beautiful scene. I know you've seen it, and it's just at the top of the hill, gorgeous. And we're very fortunate to have that. And so Deanna, my assistant coach, just a phenomenal coach, came in and is developing that program and the head coach there. And we're excited for that. And so our crossover is not so big right now. We actually have one crossing over, and then we have Lauren Condon, who just graduated indoor, is going to play outdoor, and she's killing it out there. So it's really good. And we will see more crossing over as the seasons develop. And so our girls will get out there. Before we were let out because of this virus. They all went out and competed, and it was an open gym for us, basically. And it's exciting to see. And we're excited to be that, we're right in the middle of the Willamette Valley. We're excited to be that hub and, have others up and use those courts.
Because you guys are pretty much the only NAI school that I know of other than Bushnell that has a beach program. So who will you guys play against?
Right. So as now, University of Portland, Oregon, and yes, Bushnell, previously NCU. But there are 6 to almost 8 in our conference that are declaring that they want to be in that 2021, 22. The NAI, right now it's an emerging sport, but it will be sanctioned very soon. They were waiting to get the numbers, and they're right there, if not there. So the NAI, we're really excited about having all of these schools involved and getting going. So yeah, we're, our girls were planning, they were going to travel down to California and play some teams there during spring break. So they were, bummed, but they're looking forward to the future.
Kim, I feel like you've had success and a high level of success at really every level that you've coached at. Back when you were coaching at Santiam Christian, you won 6 state championships. You had an overall record of 397 and 74. What can you tell us about those years? And what do you feel was a big part of that success?
I think that one thing, I had an advantage being a teacher in the school, and I taught 5th grade, and so they would start young. And I remember asking a coach in our conference who was just unstoppable, like, why are you so good? And she says, because I start young. So that was a huge thing. And so I started young. I remember, Taylor Woods on a ruck, who just got back, thankfully, from Finland playing professionally. She came into my 5th grade class, and I said, hey, do you play volleyball? And she said, no, should I? So starting them young, that was huge. But I think also it's who you surround yourself by. I have phenomenal coaches that I'm surrounded by. My husband, who's been with me since 2000, just behind the scenes, making things run and puts in a lot of work. And then again, when you get some great talent, in your gym, that of course makes you look better. And so I've had to really develop and learn the game, continue to learn the game. And back at Santiam Christian, we worked hard. We worked in the summers, right? And some girls couldn't play club. So we spent our summer, just hours and hours in the gym. And the girls loved it. We developed skill is where we really grew in those summer times. So I was just fortunate. It was a great, great ride, and I enjoyed it. So, great memories there.
13 conference championships, 12 top 5 finishes, 14 out of the 15 years you were, at the state tournament. You won the state, you were coach of the year 6 times, regional coach of the year twice. That's just an impressive resume from a high school level. Then started a club, ended up winning a regional championship, and then all the success that you are having at Corban right now. What have you taken from Santiam Christian and club to then carry over to the amount of success that you've had at Corban?
Yeah, again, I do give back to coaches and who I'm surrounded by and the athletes, but I think it's because I love people. I love, you love the kids, and you love, I should say, young adults, but that's where it's all at. And so if your focus is there, it all kind of comes back around. They know it, you have that self-motivated kid. You have the very few or more fear motivated than self. But you have the kids that, man, they'll run through walls for you if they think that you're behind them, right? And if they believe. And then again, just a really knowing what your season's going to look like before you even begin, and using the best that you have and sticking with it. I just, again, love. Yes, I love the game. I love coaching. But I think when it ultimately comes down to it, my whole heart is, as a teacher with their students, I love my team, and so that I guess I tested to that, plus a lot of help from others. Yeah.
You've taken the Corban program further than any other Warriors program in history. Do you have a favorite memory from the NAIA championships?
Yeah, I do. We made it to, it was our it was my 3rd year at Corban, and we had made it the previous year into the final 16, and so we wanted to make it to that next bracket. And so we did. And we were going into the final 8, and we were playing Grandview, and it was a game, rallies long. We had 144 digs. They had 138 digs. And it was, of course, a little bit not so much blocking going on with those bats, but it was the greatest match. And I still remember just kind of like, all right, we got this. We're in the fifth. We're actually ahead 13-10. And so all of a sudden they come roaring back, and it was tied up, 13-13. We went on to win by 2 in the fifth, but it was good. I still remember my athletic director. He's up there. He's excited in the stands, and he's recording. He wants to get that last point. And we started going in the toilet a little bit. So he went back to his spot and was going to, stand there until we won. And we did. And that was just a great thing to get through that, to that next, step. But that was a great memory and a great match.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. What do you think is your favorite part about being a coach?
Well, probably just seeing, again, my love for people and for them to, come out of, 4 years, or if they're with me as a transfer 2 years, or my high school players, I think for them, once they get out, I love it when they reach back, and okay, I've made some kind of difference in their life. I think about Kylie Woods, who is Taylor Woods' older sister. Most people don't know about her, but she and Taylor were really basketball players. And they both played volleyball. And then, of course, Taylor really turned for that volleyball. But Kylie's down, coaching in California, has been very successful. And for her to reach out to me and our phones to battery die because I'm trying, helping her, or on her rec this last week, she's coming home from Finland and we're checking flights for her and helping, that kind of stuff. When it's all said and done, you're done, but then they reach back and you have that relationship. So that was probably my favorite part.
That's pretty special. Hey, so I'll leave you with this last question. What are the top 3 things you look for in an athlete when you're recruiting them, especially because you guys bring in so many blue chip athletes? What are those things that are really consistent in the characteristics that you're looking for?
Sure. Again, you can, at the NAI level, you're going to try to get, as any coach would, no matter where, right, that talent. But as you know, as a coach, talent only goes so far. It's that kid that, right, their work ethic, is beyond. Because therefore, if you get a kid that maybe is not all volleyball, all, IQ, but they're talented physically, you can teach that if they're willing to work, so that work ethic. And then I think that team player, so they're so excited. They want to make the person next to them look better than themselves. They want to cheer on when someone has a success, because you're in a team sport. It's not, individual. But I guess I would move beyond character. I'd say character is number 1.
Okay. Yeah.
So character, right? And then the work ethic, and then that team player. And you probably switch those around, all in there, but that's who I'm looking for, and some of the ways to find that out is, the way they, again, look their coach in the eye, or, because you're on the side of the court, you really don't know until you get to know these people individually, or the way that they treat their parents, that's huge. I can tell you one story that I was looking at a player. She was a monster, and I'm like, wow, I'm going to get this kid. Like, this is unheard of. I was so excited, right? And this is, she was blocking, she's getting her pits. I'm like, wow. And I went down to finally watch her, and the way in which she spoke to her parents, I was done. I knew that was not the right fit for me or any coach. And again, that's the little things that people are like, well, or good word for players as they're out there in the club scene is, man, it's beyond that court. And that's so important, how they, shag and help. I see some players after warm up, they simply walk to the bench and sit down. And I'm like, right there, like I see a player, shagging and helping the team and gathering and getting them all together. That's the player that I want.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Kim, we can't wait to watch the Warriors compete in the fall, and appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm excited for what you're doing, and it keeps us all excited during this virus time, which I know will be over, soon, but not soon enough, right?
Yeah, hopefully it passes sooner rather than later, and we can get back in the gym or on the beach and get back to doing what we love.
That's right. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Thanks.